Vermilion County, Illinois is the archetypal heartland American community, and its schools harbor, largely unseen, problems and stresses of American youth.
People in all communities, I think, have a limited awareness of what goes on in the community. We're tuned into our own kids most of the time, and we think we know what's going on in their lives, and really we know what they tell us or what we were able to find out on our own.
A million different issues, from bulimia and anorexia to teen pregnancy to bullying to cutting.
And the other thing that is most difficult, I think, is the amount of stress that a student has and the suicide rate.
A lot of the hospitals probably are not involved in programs that would facilitate the well-being of at-risk kids and kids who maybe we think aren't at risk, but perhaps are dealing with this on their own and haven't found the willingness, the strength, or the right safe spot to go share what they're doing.
In 2000, concerned leaders from the hospital and the community investigated an intriguing program 2 counties away in Mattoon, Illinois.
It was called I Sing the Body Electric. And what they found was it fit perfectly into the Vermilion County area also, because it dealt with youth issues, it dealt with youth problems, it dealt with youth successes.
The first phase of I Sing the Body Electric is a detailed survey of young people throughout Vermilion County.
It's the most widely used survey for youth risk behaviors anywhere in our region, to be able to do grant writing, to be able to get funding for particular programs, not just our programs. The data is used by legislators and other social agencies to say, here's what's going on and here's how we could impact. And in fact, here's a survey that's been run year after year that says, here's what's happening with these particular behaviors.
The survey is repeated every 2 years to identify trends and emergent issues.
They have an input, they have a personal input. They have told I Sing the Body Electric what is important to them.
Every class brings a new culture to the table. Every year there's a new group of kids with a new dynamic.
In the second phase, the data come back to students and their art teachers to prompt and inspire expressive works of art.
They are given all the facts of all the different problems in Vermilion County.
There's nobody that's telling the students you can't bring up this issue. So it's, the kids can get really personal with it.
They look at what is important to them. And once they decide what's important to them, they will decide how they want to show it to other students or the community.
The primary purpose of the works is to communicate with peers. Each work is accompanied by an artist's statement.
That is setting the stage to give these students information, very valuable information that they might need because maybe they're dealing with some of the issues with which they're speaking. And it also gives them hotline numbers and websites so that if they need additional information from that standpoint, that they can also go get that.
Works and statements, and often the artists too, tour to every school in the county. They prompt extraordinary conversation and communication.
It's like telling you to be who you want to be and stay. Don't let anybody change you.
I think that it really meant to me that is, like, I'm religious, right? And God wants you to be who you are because He made you for a specific reason. And just like God really wants you to be who you are, and that's what that really means.
Look at me. I have long hair, facial hair. I was held back a couple times while I was in school. People make fun of me because I have a speech impediment, I have a lisp. But my family, my friends love me, and I love what I do. I love what I do. I love it. Being able to play a song and people get touched by it.
I think when this comes around, people think about it more and how wrong some of the stuff is and how much it does happen in our school and in other schools too.
Looking at other students' work, they can say, okay, maybe I'm not the only person having this problem.
The teachers will tell me that 2 days later, their students were still telling them about some of the important things that they learned from seeing these projects.
A group of 3 girls stopped me afterward the next day after we visited the exhibits,
on the way to lunch, and they said, "Mrs. Gritton, we have to tell you something." And I said, "Oh, girls, what is it?" And they said, "Well, you know that one display that we saw yesterday?" And I said, "Which one?" And they're like, "The one about cutting?" I said, "Yes, I remember that." And they said, "We have all been cutting ourselves. And we tell each other, but we haven't told anyone else."
It is not only viewers who are informed and empowered. The artists, too, draw strength from the act of creation.
I was not myself.
She would get angry very easily. She was on the cheerleading squad, and it seemed like there was always drama.
I became more quiet, and I stayed at home a lot. I never wanted to go out.
Day after day, I'd see her laying around and crying, and there was nothing I could do.
It was a rough time in my life, so I decided to do a sculpture about it.
The students that end up participating in doing a good job are the students that need the program.
A lot of the times when they do their projects, it's healing for them.
While I was creating it, I thought about it more and more. So it let me get out there. Like before, I didn't talk about anything, but after I did the piece, I was much more open.
It allows them to subtly tell somebody of importance that there's an issue that they're dealing with.
You don't realize what kids go through when they're in depression and they don't feel like they can talk to you as a parent. And that broke my heart, that she was trapped in this depression and couldn't tell me until she did this project.
I actually started talking to people, and I talked to my mom about it, and we went to counseling to help me get through it. And then it helped a lot.
Everyone notices that she's happier now. She smiles now.
Now I think I'm back to myself, how I was, and bubbly and with all my friends all the time. Hardly home.
You hope that by the other kids seeing her project, that would make them realize that they're not alone. Just like Abby's project said, you're not alone. You just need to talk to someone.
Through statistics and stories, through poetry and painting and performance, I Sing the Body Electric has contributed hope and healing to the young people of Vermilion County.
Over the course of the 11 years that this program's been in existence here in Vermilion County, we've seen a lot of really positive trends.
I Sing the Body Electric and the data and the statistics allows other social agencies and other avenues for people to reach out to at-risk populations and say, we're here for you. We've got your back.
I'm not saying that this program has done all of that, but I hope that we've been a catalyst.
I Sing the Body Electric gives kids of all aspects an opportunity to express themselves, to tell their story, and hopefully tell stories that allow others to reach out for help.
I think it gets the word out to people to actually understand that it's happening that much, and that if they're doing it, they need to get help.
This program matters to our youth, to their parents, to the schools, to our communities. In these days of texting and Facebook, I Sing the Body Electric reintroduces communication.
This project has brought my Abby back, and she's better than she's ever been.